Hello everyone, I'm Frank Frost.
And I'm Ashley Daly.
Welcome to the first edition of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association video newsletter.
And this newsletter will bring you up to date with what's happening in harness racing across the Buckeye State.
The annual Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association banquet was held on Saturday, July 15th. A variety of awards were presented, including Horse of the Year. This year's Horse of the Year is Charlie May. Ashley Daly had a chance to talk to Charlie May's owner, Don Tiger.
Ohio's 2021 Horse of the Year goes to Charlie May. Don, what does this feel like?
It's awesome. I almost cried. I kind of kept it together because I wanted to say a couple things about my mom and Steve's mom. So I did. I kept it together, which was good, but this will be something that'll sink in more as I go home tomorrow and as I sit around and think about it, because I love Ohio racing. It's the only place I race, and I'm happy for Steve Carter. I'm happy for Ben Lindsay. All the people are associated with it. All the fans around here, they really appreciate Charlie's story and how he came from a broodmare that was probably on her last leg, and we kind of rescued her, bred her. And it's just a story of a miracle, and it's having belief in small stables, you know, like the Daily Stables, Rob Zink, all these guys that don't have big high-class horses. You can strike gold if you just stick to it, so it's awesome.
So speaking of Steve Carter, your trainer, he's a man of few words. How is he feeling this evening?
He's feeling great. It's funny that you say he's a man of few words, because I've always said if you have to put a mirror under his nose to see if he's alive, so. When Charlie first started training down, I said, "Oh, how's he doing?" "Oh, he's good, he's good, he's good." He never said anything to me, and then one day he called me and said, "Hey, Don, what's up with this horse? Like, he's pretty special." And even when we went to qualify, I got to give Chris Page the credit. I said to Steve, I was like, "Well, I know you really like Charlie." I was like, "What do you think he's going to do in the qualifier?" And he said, "I don't know, Don. I mean, hopefully he can go in 57, 58 or something." He goes, "Who knows?" I said, "Okay." So I was a little unsure of it, but Chris and me are pretty close, and I said, "Hey, Chris, can you qualify this horse?" He said yes, and he qualified Charlie, and no one called me. It's like 8, 9 o'clock at night. The qualifiers were at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then Chris Page called me, and he says, "Hey, Don, I qualified your colt today. Qualified real good." And I was like, "Yeah, I saw." He went 8, 7, 5, 1, you know, like decent time, like 57 or 58. Last quarter, 28 or 26 and 3 or 27, 26 and 4. And I said, "You think I'll win a race?" He goes, "Oh, I think you're going to do a lot more than that." So, and I think the thing that I really hold a lot in my heart is the very first race in Ohio was the Next Generation, which we won. And the last race of Charlie's generation was the OBC on Jug Day, and Charlie won that. So it's kind of cool to win the first one and win the last one. So just super pumped.
The other winners were Gulf Shores, who finished second in the Breeders' Crown by a nose. Ashley caught up with owner James Kaler of Country Club Acres and trainer Brian Brown.
Gulf Shores, our 2-year-old colt pacer of the year for 2021. I have the connections joining me, trainer Brian Brown, along with James Kaler. Now, out of the entire season, what has been the proudest moment you have had along this 2-year-old season?
Well, I think there's been a number of great points in his season, but probably the top of the top was the championship in Northfield. You know, he got away, he won by a bunch, but I really on Jug Day, you know, they kept coming at him. They had 3 tries at him, and he brushed off all 3. So I was pretty proud that day, and I certainly was very proud in the Breeders' Crown, you know, finishing by a nose second, and I thought he had it won, and I was surprised when the photo said otherwise. But fantastic horse, great year, and Brian's done a wonderful job.
As Gulf Shores ages, we all know no matter what circuit it is, no matter where, the 3-year-old colt pacer is looked at all across the country. So what is next for Gulf Shores, and does it include more Grand Circuit starts?
Well, we hope so. I'm sure we'll pay him up to some. We haven't had that discussion yet on where we're going to pay him up to, but definitely everything in Ohio. And he is eligible to Jug. I think he's eligible at the Adios. But I'm sure we'll pay him up to the Breeders' Crown again. He was second there. So hopefully you'll see more of him out of Ohio, but we'll definitely try to make our money in Ohio too.
The 2-year-old trotting colt of the year was the Mighty Hill. Owner Don Robinson gave all the credit to trainer Chris Beaver.
This horse is made me very proud because, as Chris said back in April, it looked like he was going to make it and maybe even turn him out. And I watched him train the week before the first start there in the Buckeye Stallion, and I said, wow, he looks like he can go some. And he went up there and set the track record, and then we bumped him to the Sire Stakes, and he actually ran in the first leg. And then Chris actually took him to the Marysville Fair, and he went in 2-3.5 in a minute. And from there we went to the State Fair and on forward. And then probably the greatest thing, even after winning the Sire Stakes final, just the great intuition that Chris has in the game, that we got to race for a Mohawk Million. And it was a great honor, and they did a great job, and we finished fourth, and it was surely a great horse.
Sea Silk was named the 2-year-old filly pacer of the year, and Mickey Burke of the Burke Racing Stable is expecting big things in 2022.
We're hoping. I'm sure she'll be eligible for it now. We'll see what the season brings and everything. But, I brought her in the other day for the first time I've seen her, and I'm telling you, she's grown 6 inches. And she was big before we started. So it's going to be we're really looking forward to her, the season, and to see what the year brings.
The 2-year-old trotting filly of the year was Gabby's C-Note, giving trainer Chris Beaver a sweep of the freshman trotters.
Well, she was a little tough to figure out, but the triumphants, when they get up to their speed, they really find their best stride. What sets her apart, I could kind of tell training her late, she really had a determination as she got further into the mile. I got off the cart one day, I said, this is the best 2-year-old trotting fill in the barn, because the further she would go, the better she would get.
Beaver made it 3 winners on the night with Winning Ticket, the 3-year-old trotting colt of the year.
Oh, he's been a great experience. He's definitely one of the best horses I ever trained, and he really showed his class when I took him up to Mohawk and raced him in the Canadian Trotting Classic after he won the Sire Stakes final, and he, of course, drew the 10-hole, was parked to the quarter in 26, and he ended up third in that race for $600,000. So, he was definitely a legit horse, whether Ohio or anywhere else. I just love the horse. He's an absolute professional.
The 3-year-old pacing filly of the year was Smooth as Tennessee Whiskey. Ashley talked with owners Brian and Mackenzie Haynes.
I have husband and wife duo Mackenzie and Brian Haynes, the recipients of the 3-year-old filly pacer of the year. Smooth as Tennessee Whiskey. Did you ever believe that you would receive this award?
No, but I'm more than blessed to be here, and we took a win for the little guys today.
Brian, if we could go back in time to the day that you bought Snips, what would today's Brian say in advice for the roller coaster that has been this ride for you?
Just take your shot. Like we said it basically all summer, it's a shot of a lifetime. Just because there's other ones that bring more money, just because you only paid $3,000 for it doesn't mean she can't beat them. And it's just take your shot.
On the trotting side, the top 3-year-old filly was Herculesa.
Joining me now, I have trainer Virgil Morgan. Now, Virgil, you have said before that her 2-year-old year, she was her own worst enemy. What changed?
She just matured. She wanted to go from 2nd gear to 5th gear as a 2-year-old, and she matured, patience, and she trained down really well. So I was real happy with her as a 3-year-old, just the way she matured.
Do you believe horses of her caliber are born or made?
I think it's a little bit of both. I'm a big believer in pedigree. I think if you look at all the winners tonight, or any Breeders' Crown, Jug, it does any major stakes race, you're going to see some kind of pedigree on the dam side, and obviously the sires now are starting to dominate. So I think it's a combination, but definitely pedigree.
The aged pacer of the year was Ocean Rock, who won the Breeders' Crown. Ashley had a chance to talk with Dan and Christy Noble.
Can you describe to me the moment that you knew that you had captured that Breeders' Crown?
It was just an exhilarating moment. I still can't believe it. I watched the replay over and over. The words really can't describe it. He's just a special horse.
Danny, will we see Ocean Rock on the Grand Circuit next year?
Absolutely. I just hope that he comes back as strong as he was last year when he ended.
The final division winner of the night was Mission Accepted.
Beside me, I have driver Chris Page. Mission Accepted had a slow 2020, only winning 3 races. Did you have expectations going into this racing season?
Yeah, 2020 he tried to tackle the Grand Circuit. Raced a lot, raced very good, but just didn't seem to find a winner's circle. But coming back to Ohio, I did have high expectations for him.
So recently, Mission Accepted has been coined Mission Accomplished. In your opinion, has it been, or is there more to come?
Well, yeah, you know, he was in the running for the most wins for Horse of the Year this year, and now he's going to Sugar Valley Farms to stand stud, so I look for him to perform well there, too.
Other awards included the Jerry Kaltenbach Memorial Award for Top Sire Stakes driver and trainer. Those went to Chris Page and Ron Burke.
The OHHA awarded Steve Gibson as the Outstanding Groom of the Year, while Case Bateson was the recipient of the Terry Holton Youth Award. Dr. John Mossberger received the Hegemeyer Significant Contribution Award, given to the individual that has made a significant lifelong contribution to Ohio harness racing. The Fayette County Harness Horsemen's Association received the Dick Brandt Senior Extra Effort Award for their commitment to county fair harness racing. The Special Service to Harness Racing Awards were presented to Dr. Dan Wilson and Tom Laufbaum. The award is given to individuals that make significant lifelong contributions to harness racing. Special recognition awards were given to the connections of Monty Mickey and Ocean Rock for winning the Breeders' Crown. On the Ohio Fair Circuit, Ronnie Gillespie received the award for most wins by a driver at a county fair, while Chris Beaver took home the honor for trainers.
The Ohio chapter of the United States Harness Writers Association also presented their yearly awards at the OHHA banquet. Trainer Steve Carter received the Winner's Circle Award for the Ohioan who has achieved outstanding accomplishments in the past year. Dr. Dan Wilson received the Rambling Willie Award for the Ohioan who has done the most for harness racing over the past 2 decades. Justin Irvine received the Peter Houghton Award as the young Ohioan who is an up-and-coming star among harness horsemen, while Richard Dick Neville was elected into the Ohio Immortal Hall of Fame. Aquatic Yankee was selected to the Standardbred Hall of Fame, and Tony Morgan was inducted into the Ohio Harness Racing Hall of Fame.
The Ohio Fair Managers Association held their 97th annual convention in downtown Columbus, January 6th through the 9th. Junior and senior fair boards from all 95 county and independent fairs attended in preparation for the upcoming season. The Ohio Horsemen presented the Harness Horse Workshop, where staff gave insights to changes and opportunities coming to county fair racing in 2022. Fair Circuit coordinators next presented Harness Racing 101, which aimed to help fair boards better understand race purse funding. The weekend rounded out the trade show, where OHHA set up their Racing with the Stars tent to promote the excitement that is Ohio harness racing.
The 2022 Ohio Stallion Directory is now available online. Go to ohha.com to download the guide. Hard copies are in the mail, and you should be seeing yours in the mailbox any day now.
Mother Nature forced a cancellation of racing at Northfield Park on Tuesday the 18th. Heavy snow started falling on Sunday night, and when it was all said and done, 20 inches fell in 8 hours, forcing the cancellation. The race card was moved to Thursday, while the Wednesday card went off as scheduled. A big thank you goes out to the Northfield track crew for getting the racing surface ready to go.
Track records were falling at Hollywood Dayton in December. Pick Me Upper lowered his own track record for 4-year-old gelded trotters to 152-1 on December 9th.
Pick Me Upper, Jailhouse Sam digging in, trying to close. Refined far outside is coming on. Pick Me Upper, Jailhouse Sam, Pick Me Upper.
The win was his 11th in 30 starts. On December 16th, Mission Accepted with Josh Sutton equaled his own track record of 152-3 for older male trotters.
Through the stretch, on top, Mission Accepted, closing on the outside, past the vape, inside Refine. It's all Mission Accepted, 152-3.
The record is also held by What a Swan. The following week, it was past the vape, setting a new mark for older gelded trotters of 152-2.
Past the vape comes to the outside, Refined a straight shot up the passy lane. What a Swan, past the vape is coming on. What a Swan and past the vape to the wire together. 152-2.
The new record took a tick off the old mark held by Penn. At Northfield Park, Montana Pablo A. won for the 75th time in his career on December 22nd.
It is Montana Pablo. Montana Pablo turns with Philly. Delita's out there now by 3 lengths. Trying to hold second. PB's on fire outside long-legged. John withdrew the Dragon. Montana Pablo to score.
With the calendar turning to 2022, Montana Pablo A. is forced into retirement. Also forced into retirement was Bourbon's Best, who scored on December 30th.
And Bourbon's Best, facing mandatory retirement, is in his last career start and is going to pace home a winner. Bourbon's Best goes out on top.
Bourbon's Best retires with 58 wins in 472 career starts.
Congratulations to Carol Winters and Christina Legg for being named the December 2021 Outstanding Grooms. Winters has a vital role in her husband Mark's training stable. Located at the Fayette County Fairgrounds, she oversees the daily management of almost 24 horses. She began her career working for R.J. Brown and has since dedicated her life to the standardbred industry. Her husband credits her for being a hard worker and admires her ability to pay close attention to detail. Legg was nominated by Ned Hodkinsons and is a caretaker at the Winter Circle Training Center. Over 10 years ago, Legg stumbled into harness racing by accident. While boarding horses in Cleveland, the late trainer, Tom Vasilidas, passed his passion on to her. Although Legg always wants to see her horses in the Winter Circle, her favorite part is simply seeing them perform well.
And finally, the staff of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association sends condolences to the family and friends of those that have recently passed away. That wraps up the first edition of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association video newsletter. Next month, members will receive the February issue of the Buckeye Harness Horseman magazine.
If you would like to receive all of our publications, become a member of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association by visiting ohha.com. I'm Ashley Daly.
And I'm Frank Fries. We hope to see you at an Ohio track real soon.